So let's look a little bit at that schedule. So in the first 48 hours, blood sugars start to lower. So if you have elevated blood sugars, just beginning an early fast will help to bring those down. And the food that is in your stomach has already left it at that point after 48 hours. And then insulin shuts down. You stop producing insulin. At 12 hours, more happens. The food that you consumed previously, 12 hours earlier, has been consumed, burned up. And your digestive system moves to a state of maintenance. You can think of it as kind of like hibernating. It's sleeping because it doesn't have that food. It starts repairing itself. It doesn't have to function and do work to digest food. And the body itself is starting the healing process at that point. And human growth hormone begins to increase, which is very beneficial. And glucagon starts to relax and balance blood sugars. At 14 hours, more happens. The body starts to convert using stored fat that's hanging in your body, inside your body, around your body, as energy. It starts burning that fat. And human growth hormone exponentially increases. It really starts taking off at that point. And at 16 hours, the body starts ramping up fat burning even more. Just burning that fat. That's what you want, to burn. And guess what it starts burning? The bad fat, not your superficial fat. It starts burning the deep subcutaneous fat, the visceral fat, the heart fat, and the muscle fat. So it starts with the most harmful fat first. And what we typically see is heart fat. The fat around the heart is the one that burns the fastest and the earliest. Hey, Dr. Sean here. For over 20 years, I have worked with elite military operators, senior politicians like U.S. senators, congressmen, governors, ambassadors, and senior C-level executives of major corporations. And the most important people from all over the world eliminate dangerous, inflammatory, toxic visceral fat and fat filling your muscles to help them look better, perform better, and be better, attaining the highest levels of health, the highest levels of biology, all naturally. I have developed these protocols over decades in scientifically proven strategies for eliminating this inflammatory disease process inside your body. And now, for the first time ever, I've made it available in a completely free course for everybody to get involved and learn how to get rid of this inflammatory fat. Simply click the link in the description below and join me in this exciting journey along with others who have for years gotten rid of their deadly and visceral fat and are now living so much better. And at 24 hours, autophagy really starts kicking in. Autophagy, again, where the disease in your body and debris starts to be reduced, which is exactly what you want. If you haven't been fasting in your life, and most you haven't, you have been just diseasing all along, and you haven't had an opportunity to reverse that. So it kicks in, autophagy, at that 24-hour period, and all your glycogen is consumed. Your stored sugar in your muscle tissue and your liver gets consumed. And then ketones get released into the bloodstream. Ketones are so important as an alternative source of energy for you, other than the carbohydrates you've been eating and blood sugars. So ketones are a really essential agreement that we're moving you towards leveraging and utilizing so that your body burns a cleaner source of energy with less disease and less consequence. At 36 hours, autophagy is almost tripled at that point. Significant increase in your autophagy. So it's a really valuable thing that kicks in a dose-dependent manner as you fast longer. And at 48 hours, even more autophagy is occurring. Your immune system is improving and regenerating. So it's not just tissues, it's systems. You want to have an optimized immune system to help protect you against the threats that you face. And doctors don't know how to increase immune system physiology, but now you do, because our ancestors learned those individuals who lived properly had a much stronger ability to fight disease and threat. And back then, we were guaranteed to fast because nature just created that. Sometimes we would go hunting, we didn't bring back any meat. And sometimes the food was just scarce and we couldn't get meat. And so we'd be forced to do an extended fasting. So when it comes to fasting, you want variability. You want to do some short fasts, some long fasts, and mix it up over a long period of time. And 48 hours, you have a dramatic reduction in inflammation, levels of inflammation in your body. Inflammation is going away. So it's a fantastic improvement in your overall condition. And in about 72 hours, we see maximization to our autophagy. So roughly speaking, that's my goal. I try to get people to fast about 72 hours, sometimes 96 hours, sometimes even longer, and sometimes a little bit shorter, because sometimes we get the meat, sometimes we wouldn't. There's no correct schedule or formula to this. And again, I want you to understand, you take your time to get to this, about 3 to 6 months, but everybody gets to it. Don't shortcut yourself from the powerful benefits to autophagy. All right, the last slide that we're going to get into is a few tips when you're fasting to help you with cravings. Our ancestors would have drank water. I do not want you to be doing a dry fast. That's fasting without water. Yes, you do burn fat more quickly. But one of the problems that can result if you're not consuming water until you're able to do that, it will decrease your fluid status and decrease your blood flow to your kidneys. And if you're filled with visceral fat and you're filled with disease in your body, including renal insufficiency, you may not have enough blood flow and you may end up inducing dehydration and problems. So first things first, get rid of your visceral fat, your muscle fat, your deep subcutaneous fat. Once you get healthy, then you can try some dry fasting. But for now, I recommend that you do a water fast. You fast with water. And in particular, our ancestors didn't drink chlorinated water. They drank water from streams and lakes. And guess what was inside of it? Living microbes. So well water, natural spring water from a natural spring near me that you go and bottle and you get it right out of the ground. And if you put it underneath a microscope, it's got creepy crawlers floating around in that water, living microbes. And yeah, drink them. They're going to add to your microbiome and help you become more healthy. And that's why I consume and recommend a small amount, around 1/8 of a cup of ocean water from non-polluted source. Don't go right near the tank. Get those living microbes in you. And when you're fasting, if you get that living water with those microbes in it, it helps you with cravings. So if you are fasting and you're so hungry, you got hunger pangs, and you're just like, oh my God, drink a little bit of that living water, those living microbes. And you can also make it from brine, the watery part of fermented vegetables. So what you do is get a little bit, maybe a teaspoon of kimchi juice, add it to a glass of non-chlorinated water, and you drink that. There'll be no calories in it. The brine from fermented vegetables, properly fermented for an adequate period of time, will not have any residual calories. And you can consume that. And those living microbes in there will help break up your cravings for food. Remember, our ancestors drank from streams and lakes, and they would have been drinking when they were unable to get access to meat. And today, people fast, and they're drinking chlorinated water, and they don't get those microbes. The microbes are good. The calories are problematic because they will shut down your autophagy. The glorious benefits from autophagy and adiponectin get reduced if you're going to cheat and drink silly things like bone broth that some people think are good when you fast, and any calories, anything with calories. So you want to be drinking only living water, a little bit of kimchi juice and water, a little ocean water, a little natural spring water near you, and a little bit of coffee. But be warned, coffee has calories and carbs. If you consume in large enough amounts, it can actually impair your fast. So it would be better to just drink living water, just that water. So those are both really important strategies for you to be aware of to help you with your cravings, and also minerals such as mineralized ancient salt, which are rich in minerals, are beneficial, particularly when you fast. And if you're going to be fasting and drinking coffee, you will consume at a higher rate your magnesium, and your magnesium you can become more deficient. So coffee drinkers, they're drinking coffee, can induce a state of hypomagnesemia, where you have low levels of magnesium. And supplementation can help you in that particular state. So you can avoid overconsumption of magnesium by not drinking coffee during that particular time period. But we would have gotten minerals, including potassium and magnesium, and all the minerals present in salt in the natural water that was available to us about 20,000 years ago. And today, through the crazy agricultural policies and practices of our day, we've destroyed our beautiful water that was previously rich with minerals, and microbes have been completely destroyed. So you really do have to get these minerals, and either through supplementation through ancient salts, or if you're able to get it maybe in glacier water really deep, where those minerals are higher in percentage, but that's not too easy to get. So supplementation with ancient salts while you're fasting is a good and beneficial practice to get.